Alright, so I haven't published it yet, but I did do a big wheel conversion on one of these Pittsburgh 1.5 ton aluminum jack from Harbor Freight. There it is. Never did finish uploading the video because there was one or two more things I wanted to do before I considered this ready, but already got the itch and bought a new one. So kind of what I'm going to do with this one is going to be more of a, this is just kind of use around here, drag around the gravel, mainly for side by side. And these, these wheels came from Harbor Freight. All this is Harbor Freight stuff. I bend it. And like I said, just use it mainly for side by side. So I'm going to extend this up enough to be able to jack the side by sides up with, just for maintenance. So it's not really nothing heavy on this one. But now this one I want to use more like keep with my truck and use for heavier duty stuff. So, and I'm never really on a concrete floor, so always on dirt, gravel, blacktop, something. So I looked at the Pro Eagle jacks and that big hornet, and really expensive. So I said, well, maybe I'll make my own version from Harbor Freight. So I said, well, see what I can find there. So what I came up with is these casters here. So that's a 6-inch caster. Says 600 pound. And then I got the 5-inch caster, which is for some reason 375 pound. If you can see that good or not. But I've already taken one set apart and looked at them. They're exactly the same. Like, everything's made the same. I don't know why these are not rated a little heavier, but anyway, must be something to do with the, I don't know if it's the compound that feels the same. But anyway, I'm going to I guess make my version of the Pro Eagle. Maybe this will be the Pittsburgh Bald Eagle. But anyway, let's see if we can't get some of this bolted together and make a good sturdy jack that'll last a long time, and I don't have to worry about, like this one. Yeah, this is going to work, and like I said, just use it for side by sides, but it just don't look super heavy duty. I guess it seems kind of flimsy and weak, so I want something a little bit, that seems a little bit sturdier, and maybe it'll last a little longer too, a lot more abuse. So see if we can't get this thing rolling on some new dubs here. So I got the bolts already loose on this front roller. See if we can't get this thing knocked out. There we go. So the shaft it's on goes into the aluminum. It kind of gets caught, so it's out. And believe it or not, the bolts that go through the caster, the right size bolt for the caster, fits that actually pretty good. So that's what we're going to go with. What I got was some threaded rod. May or may not be a good idea in that aluminum, but we're going to try it. We'll run this through, bolt it down good, and what I'm thinking is we'll do the smaller wheels on the front and then the bigger wheels on the back. So let's see if we can make this simple and painless and easy to do. So this handle on the side is in the way. We need to put the actual handle in this so we can raise the jack mechanism up so we can get to these, I guess they're Allen heads. I believe that's what they are. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, do I need the handle back on it? I mean, I could always move it back a little bit, I guess. We'll just leave it off of there. Lightweight, streamlined. Now let's see if we can get these back caster mounts off and figure out a way to mount the back axle. So I cut me a spacer out of just a piece of conduit. A little bit big, but I believe it'll be alright. So it's going to go in between here. So when I put this galvanized rod, or listen at me, this threaded rod through here and bolt the wheels on, you can squeeze on that spacer. Because these wheels need to be bolted down a little tight. So let's get this thrown together. So I cut this all thread down to make me an axle. Got our spacer. It's gonna look pretty good. That Hornet has been in here all day with me, or all morning. Don't know why. Anyway, that's looking really good actually. So let's level this up and see where these back wheels need to go. I got the 6-inch for the back. Not sure if I should have or if I should get the smaller ones, but that looks pretty good. I think we're going to have to make us a plate back here to put these wheels on, but I believe that'll work good. So I got just the front wheels mocked up. I leveled the chassis of the jack up, so it's 2 inches exactly in the front, and I got just a touch of rake, so I got 2 1/16 of an inch in the back, so barely raked. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the mount and cut it off, and then I'll use these pieces to mount here, so I can put the axle down here for the wheel, and I'll drill the matching holes and then tap them in this. That way run the bolts through and bolt that on, and I think that'll be strong enough. So yeah, let's cut these off and see if we can't mark and drill some holes. So it's probably kind of hard to see because I used the silver marker, but I measured from the end here up 4 inches, and that's where I'm going to cut them. One down, one more to go. Alright, so 4 inches was making it hit the bolt mounts for the handle, so I marked it back down. This is 3 1/4 here, so I took off 3/4 of an inch, or taking off 3/4 of an inch. So there we go. All right, so we're going to mock up the wheel here just so we can line this up. So I'm going to put the bracket on the outside when I bolt it on. I mean, I could put it on the inside, but then I'd have to have a spacer. But I'm just going to bolt it on the outside, maybe with it. But I'm going to put the bracket on the inside for right now just to line it up, so I know where to drill these holes, so I can line this up where I want it. And now I can mark and drill my holes if that's where I want it. So let's get this back just a fuzz. So yeah, if I put the plate on the outside, it'll space these wheels out, so it'll miss those bolts in there, you can see. So yeah, let's put that on the outside. So far so good, coming along all right. I mean, I could drill these and just put a bolt and a nut on it, but I'm gonna try tapping them. I got the cheap Harbor Freight tap and die set, so we're gonna try that out. There we go. There's what that's going to look like on there. Go about right there somewhere. I believe that'll work. Okay, let's drill them holes out. Hopefully we can figure out what size drill bit we need for tapping these out. It's this is the size we need. It's a M8 by 1.25, and that fits the bolts that came out of the original casters here. So we can drill and tap, and then we'll have to cut those bolts off a little bit. They'll be sticking out, but I think it'll look okay that way. All right, let's drill these holes. Beautiful. So I ain't drilled the other holes yet, but we'll do that right now. The drill bit, the only one I got that's the right size for that, which is what, 17/64 maybe? Yeah, 17/64 is very dull. I'm gonna try to sharpen it just so I can use it, but it's not looking good. So I got one hole drilled and I got 5 more to go. I got these partially drilled and it won't cut. So let's try to sharpen this up. Alright, so these plates are gonna go like this. And you just have to take my word for it. All my bolt holes line up pretty good. So I'm gonna put the plate on the outside. That way I don't need a spacer for the wheel, so it don't hit those other bolt heads. So I thought I was going to have to cut my bolts off, but I believe the wheel is going to actually clear those. We might get away with not having to cut them off. So there's what we ended up with to hold the back axle. You can see it's not a whole lot of clearance. So if I'd put them on the inside, which I could have, I would have had to scoot them back or something, so I'd had space for a spacer. But where I got them at now, the spacer that I'm using is just a piece of conduit. It'll actually fit perfect right there. So, all right, let's get this put together. Dang, that looks good, don't it? Yeah, a whole lot cheaper than the Pro Eagle, so hopefully this thing works good. Let's cut these all thread off and bolt these down and test her out. Yeah, there's the that's very, very close to that bolt, but I don't think it's hitting it. Let's yeah, I could go ahead and cut them off. I guess it don't really matter, but let's bolt it down and see if it's still got clearance. So what I'm doing is cutting a slot in the end so I can put a flat screwdriver in there. Because I'm putting lock nuts on either side, and I want to be able to hold it so I can run the lock nut down to where I want to, and not worry about it spinning. I keep tilting my saw back and forth like that so it cuts it wide enough for the screwdriver, because it's not quite wide enough with just the saw blade. Needs to be a little wider. So I got this little flat file. Just making sure it fits. It's about wide enough for my screwdriver. I might have to cut this front axle down a little bit. I just measured it off the back like a genius, and the back's a little bit longer, so probably have to cut the front one down again. Yeah, you can see how much I need to cut off of there. So all right, let's cut it. What do you think of that? I think it looks pretty good. And it's not just for the looks, it's actually, I think it'll perform a little bit better. You know, it'll be easier to roll. So you can see my first attempt back there, which works good. But this one's a little lower, you know, don't set up quite as high, so it needs, you know, like an extension here to reach, you know, taller stuff. But I think this one will roll just as good almost as that one. That one actually rolls really good in the gravel, so this should be about as good. But this one I'm going to keep with my truck and use. So let's test it out on the truck and see how it does. I ain't even used this jack yet. It probably don't show on camera, but it is going downhill this way a little bit. So off the ground, seems to work and looks pretty good doing it. Not too bad. So I think I'd have to look at my receipts. So the 6-inch caster, which was the back ones, were $16.99 each, and then the 5-inch casters were, I actually got them for $10.49 because I had a coupon. I used the coupon on something else when I bought the other tires. So $50 or so on wheels, and then the jack was $99.99, which I didn't have a coupon for it. So 150 bucks. Plus I bought the all threaded rod and I'll have to go look at the receipt and see how much it is. So I got $10 in the threaded rod, which was 1/2 inch, and it was a fuzz too big for these wheels because those actually had a metric bolt in them. And I think you can buy the metric threaded rod, but they didn't have it, and the 1/2 inch was really close, so I kind of just basically knocked the crown off of the threads, you know, to just bring the diameter down enough to go into those wheels. I don't think it'll hurt anything. It didn't hardly take any off, but it made it fit that way. So it's $10 for the threaded rod, and the nuts was $2 a pack, so $1 a nut on there basically. So there's 15 bucks. And then I had the conduit laying around for the spacers, and then, you know, let's cut the metal up for the off of the casters for the mounts for the back. So I got $160, $175, I guess, total in this, the way it sits. Which I'll probably come up with a way to make me a little spacer for that. Don't know yet exactly what I'll do, but I'm going to do something. I got a few ideas in mind, but so I went ahead and changed this back axle out. I had a piece left over that was a little bit longer, so I went ahead and swapped it out. That way it comes out just past the nut like the front one does. So, all right. So I said, I guess this is the Pro Eagle version of the Pittsburgh 1.5 ton racing jack. So the Pro Eagle, I think, has a little bit of tread on their wheels. So these don't. They're bald. Top of my head's bald. So this is going to be the Pittsburgh Bald Eagle Pro. Let's name it. And we'll do a little pro here. There we go. The Bald Eagle Pro. Let's get it. Alright, so there it is with the labeled. And I guess it is kind of fitting too that I bought this on the 4th of July. Today's the 5th. They had a sale. That's why I bought a lot of this stuff, but ended up not getting a sale price on the jack, but oh well. Now let's figure out what to do here.